गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, शंकर सूत गणेशा, गौरी तनय श्री गणेशा। जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, शंकर सूत गणेशा, गौरी तनय श्री गणेशा। महिमा में तेरी जो है अमृत, करता है मूलाधार चक्र को जागृत। महिमा में तेरी जो है अमृत, करता है मूलाधार चक्र को जागृत। अबोधिता दे निर्मल नंदन, करे गणपति तेरा ही वंदन, करे गणपति तेरा ही वंदन। प्रथम पूजे तू हमेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, शंकर सूत गणेशा, गौरी तनय श्री गणेशा। जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, जय बोलो श्री गणेशा, शंकर सूत गणेशा, गौरी तनय श्री गणेशा, निर्मल पुत्र गणेशा, निर्मल पुत्र गणेशा।
न च प्राणसन्त्यो न वै पञ्चभूतानि च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादं न च पास्थपायो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोजं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् निर्विकल्पो निराकार रूपो अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकार रूपो विभूत्वात् च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणाम् सदा मे समत्वं न मुक्ति न बन्धः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम्
Jai Shri Mataji, respected brothers and sisters from the global Sahaj family. Salam Sejahtera dari Malaysia. Warm greetings from Malaysia. Before we proceed our session today, let's welcome some new yogis who are joining us for the very first time. We hope and pray that you'll continue to join us every week to strengthen our collectivity. Let us keep Shri Mataji's holy lotus feet in our hearts, the core of our hearts, and fill our hearts with utmost love and respect for our Divine Mother, the Mother of the Universe, the Supreme Goddess, Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. With our hands folded in the center of our hearts and with complete reverence, we will pray to our Divine Mother. Param Puja Shri Mataji, we, your children, from across the world, humbly seek your permission, blessings, guidance, protection to have this global online meditation. It is only by your divine grace and blessing, Shri Mataji, that we are able to gather and worship your holy lotus feet collectively every week. We sincerely thank you, Shri Mataji, for this wonderful opportunity. Shri Mataji, we will always remain indebted to you, for you have given us our self-realization and helping us sustain it thus far. We continue to seek your blessings for the same. Shri Mataji, we also thank you for all the divine knowledge you have given us. And we pray that by our divine grace, that we will establish further the divinity within us, the wisdom of Sri Ganesha, the discretion of Sri Hanumana, and the power to forgive like Lord Jesus Christ. Shri Mataji, we will treasure the knowledge for eternity. Shri Mataji, verily you are the doer and the enjoyer, and we, your children, do nothing at all. Our only desire, Shri Mataji, is to please you, to be completely surrendered at your holy lotus feet, and to be your humble instrument in every way possible. We seek your blessings, Shri Mataji, that we are able to spread Vishwa Nirmala Dharma to every nook and corner of this world. Shri Mataji, our humble salutations to you at your holy lotus feet, again and again, from all your children. Today, brothers and sisters, we have a very dynamic Yuva Shakti from Italy, who's currently living in Cabela. His name is Nicola Chandra Mapli, a very, very devoted Yuva Shakti. He has plenty to share with all of us. So we will wait till the end of the session to hear from him as to what he has to share, for he has loads and loads of experiences to share with all of us with his wonderful journey of Sahaja Yoga. Let's put our hands together to welcome our dear brother, Nicola Chandra from Italy. Over to you, Nicola. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. We will start with a meditation all together. Today I'm at the castle in Cabela, so we will show the altar from here, from the castle, and we'll have the meditation from here. I'm just gonna and before even doing namaskar and raising our kundalini and doing the bandhan, we can all close our eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And we just remember, why are we here this evening together? We just cherish the blessing that Shri Mataji gave us by welcoming her to the Sahaj family. And with a heart full of gratitude for this darshan that the goddess gave us and for this privilege and opportunity we have. We can return all this gratitude towards Shri Mataji by collectively doing namaskar and raising our kundalini and giving ourselves abundance. We can start by placing both hands on the Mother Earth. And we can just start by asking the Mother Earth to teach us and give us an example of all the beautiful qualities of Sri Ganesha. As the essence of Mother Earth is innocence. And in the Mother Earth we can see Sri Ganesha's qualities manifested. Sri Lao Tse once said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." So we can also pray, "Dear Adibhumi Devi, please absorb all our right side. Help us to achieve a state of dynamism, like we can be like nature, without hurrying, accomplishing everything at the right time. Let us be instrument of the divine flow. We can say together the mantra to Shri Adibhumi Devi. Om Vameva Saksha Shri Adibhumi Devi Saksha Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We can bring our left hand on our lap and we keep the right hands toward the ground. And as we've seen the recent earthquakes, the movement that nature is taking in the latest years, we can also pray to Sri Ganesha to please forgive all human beings and to provide to us as Sahaja Yogis the love and compassion to enhance our dynamism and find a way through their heart Sri Ganesha, please. Help us to be so pure, to be worthy of having Shri Mataji's lotus feet in our being. Help us to be clean mirrors so that seekers can see in us at least a little spark of Shri Mataji grace and glory. Shri Ganesha, please pure all our desires so that we can be dignified instruments. Of representing mothers in public programs. We can bring the right hand back on our lap. And we can bring the right hand on our void. Mother, please establish our Guru Tattva and establish us in our central channel, in our central axis. Once a very wise auntie who met Shri Mataji when she was 14 and spent so many years next to her, told us that a deep yogi who became a guru is like a very big tree. He doesn't have to move here and there. He's just very strong, rooted deeply in the ground. And everyone knows where there is a very big tree. And just by witnessing without needing to go here and there, people spontaneously go under him to look for shelter, to look for shade. So Mother, please let our roots, the roots of our subtle tree, go down in our devotion and bhakti for you. Let us establish our desires. In feeling your presence in our heart. Remove us from the illusion that we have to do this and that. Because in reality, you do everything. Please, Mother, establish our Guru Tattvas by making us like a very big tree that just attract people with its gravity. We can say the mantra to Shri Adiguru Dattatreya. Swami Saksha Shri Adiguru Dattatreya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namo. As we know, the greatest guru is love. And we can bring our right hand on our heart. As we know, pure knowledge is true love. Otherwise, it's just information that fills our head. But it is love that penetrates reality and expands our awareness. It's love that transforms our experiences into truth. And we can bring here the attention on Shri Shiva.
मनोभूद्यहङ्कार चेतनेनाहम् न चाश्रोत्रजीवे न चाघ्राणनेत्रे न चाव्योमभूमिन तेजो न वायो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न चाप्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायो न वै सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशा न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्
We can now bring our right hand on our back agya. And we can pray, O Shri Mahaganesha, you who are beyond protocol, you who are the embodiment of the full surrender to Shri Mataji, the full trust and dedication to the goddess Shri Adishakti. Please remove from us any ritualism, any fanaticism. Let love guide our actions and not some mental structure that we built up. Let the quality of love bring light to our agya and bekagya. So that we don't follow blindly some ideas. But in each situation, we can see through your light what is the most compassionate thing to do now. What would please Shri Mataji the most in this moment? What is the most appropriate behavior for a deeply compassionate spirit in any situation and circumstance? May it please establish our protocol in the love we have for you and for our brothers and sisters. Let us remember that love is the vehicle and foundation of protocol. Because without love, it's just empty rules and regulations. Every human being can follow rules, but only a yogi who has established the love for you can see your love in all of their action, can surrender to you all of their action. And we can bring the right hand on our Sahajrara. Shri Mataji. Let us be humble and surrendered. Ambara Pragya, Mother, please make us like a mature fruit who bends towards the ground, knowing that all of their fragrance is just a reflection of your fragrance. Mother, compared to the all-pervading greatness of Sri Adi Shakti, establish humility in us so that we know that whatever we know compared to your true form, it's less than a grain of sand in the whole world.
Yogis
We can now listen to Shri Mataji's speech. It's an audio from 77, Birthday Puja.
who have come here, all the other people who have joined us here, who are celebrating this earthly birthday of mine. I am very thankful, very grateful, and I am filled with great joy and happiness. And my vibrations are flowing from my eyes as tears to see that in this Kali Yuga also there are people who are grateful to a mother who just known as vibration. Actually, I do not give you. I cannot give or take, will be surprised. It's just emitted through me. It is my swabhava. It has to be that way, I can't help. It is a being. I do not know how people learn to hate. I haven't got sufficient time even to love people. I find 24 hours much less. I do not know how people sit down and manipulate and think in an ice-cold manner. How to be hateful. Hatred has no power but of destruction of yourself and others. On this day, I would request you to think of love all the time. Love is all knowledge. Knowledge is all love. There's nothing beyond. If you have knowledge, it has to pass the test of love. If you know a person, it makes no record on you because you know him from outside. But if you love a person, then you know the person out and out. You know him so well. You know him everything the way he is. It is this knowledge that is what we call is the para knowledge. That is the knowledge we have to see. All these books are only signaling towards that. They are the milestones which are telling us, go ahead, go ahead. They do not solve the problem of entering into the kingdom of God. I request you that you all should come to this stage of understanding the divine within you, the love of God that is within you, which is trying to overflow from you, and enjoy the sense of emitting and giving. Giving has the greatest joy and pleasure. There is no pleasure in taking. And when you receive it, you start giving. You have heard talking about how he has done work in Rahuri. In Rahuri, when I was going to Rahuri University, the people in the nearby village knew that our car will be going there. They are ordinary villagers. They have never read any yoga. They don't understand anything more about vibrations than these feelings that you get. It's a subjective knowledge. It has no words. It's a subjective experience which you feel on your fingers in your being, the bliss of God. And as I was going, I just felt a jerk in the car because so many people were just lying on the road and some were standing on the road stopping the car. And they started shouting my jai. I was wondering. I said, how did you know that I was in this car? He said, Mataji, you have given us vibrations. We knew this was the car which was bringing us vibrations. So now you have to get down here. I just got down. I embraced all of them. And our Sahaja Yogis were waiting at the other end. I said, doesn't matter. This is what is Sahaja, such loving people. And at that time, I just thought of how once with Rama, how you felt those things with people, the very simple people of very simple heart with Shraddha, how they had those feelings of receiving your love and feeling it. Everyone needs love in this world. You cannot exist without love. Your whole being is based on love. And I wish all of you in this country to understand that unless and until there is love in your heart, don't try to do anything outside. Because if you do it, you will be found out in no time. Every human being understands what is love. There are lots of things that are happening within you. There are cosmic changes that are taking place today within you. I know that it's happening. Shri Chakra itself has descended on this earth and already the Satyuga has started. This is the reason why you are feeling these vibrations on your fingers. And none of these gurus and rishis and all those people have mentioned these things because this is only possible when the Shri Chakra is brought down. It is here. You have to feel it and understand it. It is for all of you to accept it with an open heart. I do not want anything. What can you give me? I do not want anything, but I want my children to be happy. I pray for their happiness. I live for them. And all the time, whether I am asleep or awakened or in the middle state when they call this a Branta, I am just with you. Every moment you are in my thought. I wish all of you a very, very happy New Year today because it is Navroz. And Navroz is the day when Navroz started his work on this work. He was a great Sahaja Yogi. He was an incarnation of Dattatreya himself. Sahib has told you about Muhammad Sahib. I have to tell you that he was my father. And he was the incarnation of Dattatreya himself. He was not an ordinary person. Though the people tortured his life, every moment that he lived, they tortured him. And Hazrat Ali is a very, very great incarnation where only once Brahmadeva has incarnated and he has incarnated as Hazrat Ali. So these people are so great. You cannot criticize them. They are so great. Every word that they have spoken is a mantra. Everything they have told you about the namaz, it is nothing but Kundalini Jagruti. Muhammad Sahib has done the greatest work in Sahaja Yoga and has done the greatest advancement as far as the Kundalini Jagruti is concerned. How can you criticize him? I can't bear to hear even a word against him. I know how much he has been tortured, and the same people today are born in this country who are talking against. When you cannot reach even at his feet, why should you take such a big step? Understand, what have you done in life? What have you got with yourself that you are criticizing these great personalities? Khwaja Nizamuddin Sahab was a great awliya, no doubt about it. And a horrible king like Khilji tried to trouble him, and he was himself murdered. And his name has gone to the dying dust. Today, Khaja Nizamuddin Sahab, you go and see the vibrations there. You go and see at Chishti's Maqbara also, at Ajmer Sharif, you will see the same. At Patna, you go and see Patna Sahib, where you have got our Mahavir Sahab's also vibrations are there. All these people are speaking of the same truth I am telling you. But today you can make them out. You will know who they are. Please try to humble down yourself. First of all, get this eternal truth within yourself. Let your being be that subjective instrument to understand what is God. Don't be driven away by few readings here and few readings there. Don't be driven away by these small-hearted ideas and the egoistical tomfoolery that is going on is to make fun of everyone. Oh man, please awaken yourself to this great occasion of understanding this dynamic force is dying to bubble out of you. We have to change this world and transform it into a beautiful creation, because the Creator will not allow His creation to be destroyed. If you do not accept the truth, you will be destroyed. So please, again as a mother, I ask to accept the divine truth, the divine love, and to be one. I wish all of you, all the Sahaja Yogis and all the people who are seeking the greatest of greatest, highest of highest in the awareness of God and His love. That is what it is. Otherwise, the rest of it is all useless. Those who have sought other kind of sattvic or tamasic things in life have gone to waste. They have gone to hell and they are completely destroyed. You do not want to do that. You are simple people, ordinary people, and that's why you are the best people, because you do not suffer from any extremes. You have a very simple heart. You are leading a very religious life and a sanctified married life. This place is for the people who are in the middle path of Lord Buddha. Sahaja Yoga is the integration of all the truths of life. And I can prove it to you on the Kundalini that what I say is the fact. Is the fact. Unless and until you take Hazrat Ali's name, your Swadhisthana Chakra cannot be cured. And all the Sahaja Yogis know about it. And in the Sahaja Yogi Puja, we have to take the name of Muhammad Sahab again and again, and that of Hazrat Ali. And also we have to take the name of Jesus, the Lord, who is the Ashraya of all this world, described by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He was the Mahavishnu. You can read it for yourself and you'll be surprised that all the things described about Mahavishnu are absolutely the same as Jesus Christ was. So I request you not to be so small-minded. You have not known the truth so far. So try to understand it, to be subjective, to feel it, to understand it. All the books are saying the same thing as I am saying. Only thing, I can do it. I am not doing it. It is just happening. I have come on this earth just for this ignition. This is the last point of ignition. This has to happen, and this will happen. Let us see in this country, in this beautiful Yoga Bhumi, how many people accept it. May God bless you all. Again and again I bless you. I am going to now London on the 25th, and hope all of you who have got realization in last 2 days will again come to our programs in Bharati Vidya Bhavan. On Tuesday we have at 6:30. We have also a very nice center in Altamount Road. I hope all of you will take deeper interest into Sahaja Yoga, learn all the methods and master the Kundalini. There are so many people among us who know about it, and you can talk to them. Even in the programs you can listen to my lectures, by which you will understand. But it is not the understanding through your hearing, but it is the understanding through your heart and through your feeling of vibrations. Only you can judge the Kundalini. Yesterday I have very much requested you, and again I am requesting you, that to understand Sahaja Yoga, you don't need too much of brains. What you need is a heart, is a Shraddha, one heart. And if you have that, it will work out. The time has come for many flowers to be fruits. The time is there. I thank you again and again for showing this great love to me. It's like when I feel the ocean of my love when it flows to the shores of all your hearts. The shore gives it back as a reaction. It's a parabolic movement. When my love passes through you and comes back to me as love, I enjoy it. It is such a beautiful experience. I mean, it is a different experience, perhaps, that cannot be coined or put into these mortal words. Thank you very much again and again. I thank all the trustees and all of you again. May God bless you with all its prosperity, with all its goodness, kindness, and the eternal, the Parama Chaitanyam should descend on you and on your awareness.
Before the Arti, we can meditate 5 minutes more and let this word from Mother be absorbed and sink in our heart. Man Kuntamola. The translation of this beautiful Kabbali is enter into the heart, melt therein. You and me sing there a sweet melody. Only when I search for you do I really understand who you are. When I left everything I had, that's when I came to know God. Even if people try to hide your name, those who are real seekers, will always recognize you. And with these beautiful words in our heart, we can all stand up for the Arti.
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार माँ, कितने लिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ, सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ। लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियारा माँ, कर दिया उजियारा। कलियुग में माया है, कलियुग में माया है। फिर भी पहचाना माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधु संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधु संगीत सुन लो। हो यस की जो सेवा, हो यस की जो सेवा, हमसे करा देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना।
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
We can all bow down. We can raise our Kundalini and give ourselves abandon. Dear Mother, thank you for this beautiful meditation. Please, Mother, on this auspicious occasion of the Shivaratri Puja coming for the next weekend, please help us remember that we're all part and parcel of your body, that we're all one collective from all across the world. Mother, help us recognize the divinity within us so we can recognize your divine presence in our beings. Mother, we would also like to pray you to bring your loving attention to the people of Turkey and Syria after this earthquake, especially to the children. We know it's a time of transformation and that the Mother Earth is an instrument for the evolution of mankind. We are confident that through your benevolence, all of this will bring greater evolution to human beings across the world, awakening their respect for the purity, for the innocence, the respect for nature, and for the laws of Dharma. Please, Mother, support the children and the families there who are going through a very challenging time. And let us all pray together that your love can fill their heart, so that through this shock, their seeking can be awakened. Mother, also as we approach this centenary of this greatest incarnation of yours, of the Adishakti Shri Nirmala, please help this moment also for us to be a moment to drop our conditionings, to detach from our comfort zone, and to embrace what you see in us, what you see we could become. And with full courage and dignity, just believe in ourselves the same way you believe in us. And each of us, knowing himself, take the necessary steps to become a better yogi and yogini. Thank you, Shri Mataji. Thank you, everyone, for sharing this meditation. Jai Shri Mataji.
Kula, maybe we can just raise Kundalini now and share some experience with you.
Yeah, of course. We can raise together. our Kundalini and give ourselves abundance.
Maybe you can turn on your camera. Thank you, Shri.
Can you hear me?
Turn on.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Shri Mataji,
Okay.
for this wonderful meditation that you've sent your wonderful son, Nicola Chandra Mapadi. Beautiful meditation, very blissful indeed, Shri Mataji. And we thank you, Brother Nicola, for the wonderful prayer that you've shared with all of us. Yeah, it's very nice to have you on
My pleasure.
our channel, and we would like to first of all thank you and the team in Cabela, especially Gabriel, for recommending you to lead our session today. We thank Brother Gabriel also. And it was nice, very nice chatting with you a couple of days back, and instantly you agreed to lead the session and share the beautiful journey in Sahaja Yoga. Before that, we just like to find out a little bit of you've been a very active member with the We Are One tour organizing team along with Sister Anandita Basu. So maybe you can touch on that before we talk on your journey in Sahaja Yoga.
Yeah, of course. So there is this tour being organized. It's called We Are One. It's gonna take place in India after the Puja. So it will start the 23rd from Pune, which is a Thursday. And there are two deadlines based on how long you could stay in India. So one is the Sunday, 2nd of April, which is the first week, 10 days of tour. And then there is a second week ending the next weekend for those who can stay a bit longer. And the drive of this tour, what was the feeling that was shared by Anandita Didi, me, and a few other people who are behind supporting with the organization, is that a lot of time we have all of this tour to spread Sahaj, to give realization, focus on the horizontal growth. But in this time, especially for the centenary, it's very important that we also go in depth as yogis. No, the whole world is evolving, and it's also important that we can grow as a collective, because we can only help people through, at the end, through our vibration, through our gravity. So, sometime if you develop a greater depth with less effort, you can help stabilize more people. No, especially now is a moment when it's important to establish yogis, and to really establish people in the collective is also important that we can be good instrument for that. So we really felt it was good to have the moment of collectivity also, no, of being together and focusing on meditation and on working on each other and on growing. And the second desire was that of reuniting with the beautiful Indian family. So we really wanted, that's why the tour was called We Are One. And we really wanted to spend some time to unite, all foreign yogis with Indian yogis, because many times Shri Mataji explained the beauty of Indian qualities and the beauty of Western qualities, and why it's so important that they can learn from one another and grow together. So we really wanted to create a chance for these two families to really just spend some time together, get to know each other, share in the joy of their stories. And yeah, so for those who are interested, maybe we can share after in the chat on YouTube, or you can contact me, or you can contact Auntie Maheshwari, and we can send you more information about it. But yeah, it will be from the 23rd to the 2nd or 9th of April, based on how much time you have, starting from Pune and finishing in Mumbai.
Yeah, it's really
So
wonderful to hear that, the oneness that Shri Mataji always talk about it, the Indian yogis and the qualities of the Western yogis, how we get together and enjoy the oneness with each other. It's for all of us to grow together, vertically and also horizontally. So it'll be a very nice gift to Shri Mataji to show her how loving all the brothers and sisters are coming together, to worship her lotus feet together in this wonderful land of India, Punya Bhumi.
yeah,
Yeah, the birthplace of Shri Mataji, in Chhindwara and Nirmadam and Rahuri, all these memories, brings back a lot of memories when we used to go there to Nargul and Pratistan and everywhere else, in Mumbai as well. So it'll be nice to meet up with all our brothers and sisters in this wonderful land of India, the Mother Kundalini, the land of Kundalini.
yeah,
Mother Kundalini.
we
Yes.
still have about 50 places, so there is
Yeah.
still space. So if anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome.
Okay. So yeah, before you talk about, you're also very active in so many projects, but before we talk on the projects and also you're also one of the Italian coordinators now. So you've got so many projects, I saw your CV, long list of credentials there. You're a consultant, yet very devoted, dedicated to Sahaj work, self-realization projects, programs and other projects as well. And Yuva Shakti seminars that you had for the new year, very successfully done in Geneva this year. So you can also talk about how you can motivate the Yuva Shaktis to come together and enjoy themselves and grow together. But it'll be interesting. Yeah. So before you touch on that, Nicola Chandra, probably you can talk about, you said you were born realized, and after that when you were 7 years old, that you stopped meditating because your parents were out, and then you came back, and how your journey started, and after that how your parents got involved in Sahaja Yoga. So you can talk about that first. Very interesting for people who lie low or drop out and come back. So in this case, the son is bringing back the parents into Sahaja Yoga. It's normally the other way around, but you mentioned that you have brought back your parents into Sahaja Yoga. So you maybe can share on that beautiful journey.
So what, as Auntie was sharing, I was born in Sahaj. I had some pujas with Shri Mataji here in Cabella, and then my parents stopped when I was 7 about, so I didn't really know, because also I never been to Sahaj schools or situations like this. I didn't really have some child who in Sahaj who were friends with me, so I grew up out of Sahaj. And probably I felt after that it was part of a divine plan, because once I was washing Shri Mataji's feet on a puja in Cabella, and after washing the feet, I took out my necklace and I show her like the necklace, like to say, I'm part of the group. Don't forget about me. So I have this memory of being there on stage, watching Shri Mataji, which was huge in my memory, because I was a small child, and just showing her my pendant full of pride, like saying, I'm part of the group. Until an uncle, I remember, just took me from the stage, because probably I was just staying there enjoying it. As happens sometimes with children, you just there and you don't want to leave. So even if I had this experience I actually grew up out of Sahaja, and I started to have memories of my Sahaj time only when I started. It's like when you live things as a child, you forget you live them till something brings back that memory. So I said my parents stopped meditating when I was 7, and so I wasn't even in primary school basically. So I grew up out of Sahaj, and of course, as many of you shared the same experience, it wasn't easy because you always feel there's a difference in values, a different perspective. Uh, I remember a lot of my friends doing experiences that I really felt they didn't belong to me, and uh, and then actually I started again when I was 21 because through some miracle stories that I won't share now, not to make the story too long, but I ended up into a national seminar, and um, and I was meditating since 1 year already, actually since a couple of years. I wasn't calling it meditation, but one day I just felt that all of this mental activity was actually preventing me to be my real self. I felt like if all of the thought, that's the metaphor I had back then, were like chains, closing my heart and preventing my heart to truly express itself. So I really felt, my heart is not free. I cannot really manifest the love I have inside of me because of all of this mental process. So I started to just sit down and try to be totalist. So it was 2 years that I was practicing this activity without knowing it was called meditation, but of course it was inside of me. And then eventually I found myself in the Italian National Seminar, and it was lunchtime. Everyone was because I basically I discovered there were people meditating, and when I saw it, I saw Sahaja Yoga, and I was like, I know this thing. Actually, it's the old religion of my parents. I've heard about this before, and I knew the name, so I knew like that's what my parents used to practice. But I didn't really know anything about Sahaj. And when I entered, everyone was having lunch, so there was this empty meditation room, and I just sat there to meditate by myself. And then I was just at a certain point wondering why, there was this huge picture of this lady, which I remembered, it was familiar because also my parents had that. And we still had that picture in the house, but I never really paid any attention to that since then. And then at a certain point, just watching Shri Mataji, I had this incredible vision. Like if I remembered who she was, I remember who I was. It's like if I saw some, I don't know, previous lifetimes or our time together in Vaikuntha. I just had this moment of, when somehow the Maya is unveiled for a few seconds, and I just knew my purpose. I knew that, of course, I was born into Sahaj because she was my mother, and that I had to actually grow up out of Sahaj because that was like part of the plan. It's like if a lot of things. It's like if I suddenly woke up and I was my real self again, no? And the next day, I joined the puja, and I had my first puja, which was a Shivaratri. So actually, it's interesting because it was exactly 10 years ago, and uh, and then on Monday I started to organize the first public program. Monday and Tuesday, inviting students, and Wednesday it was the first public program in my university. It was very quick. Saturday just recognizing mother, Sunday having the puja, Wednesday hosting the first public program with 50 people. And I didn't know the realization exercise. So I remember I did a bit what I used to do sometime at school when I wasn't so ready for a lesson, and I pulled my ears, but maybe I wanted to cheat. So I used to just make a little copy on a paper, of some important information. And in that case, I did like the positions at the affirmations, no? So I invited all of these 50 students from university to close their eyes because I couldn't remember, like memorize it in 2 days because I was busy to organize the program. So I invited everyone to close his eyes, and then I opened my eyes to check to ensure that all of them had the eyes closed. And then I was looking into this paper that I'd hidden like in a sleeve basically, and I was like, okay, so we put our hands in our heart and we say, am I the spirit? That was the first time I did the realization exercise, and it was with 50 people who got the realization in our uni. And yeah, that's in a nutshell a bit the story. So, but from that day, I was just with the collective all the time, joining all of the program, all of the Yuva Shakti tour there were, and seminars. And luckily, as an Italian, Cabela is just 3 hours car from here. So since then, I just joined all of the pujas of Cabela. So it was I catch back on the mid time of my childhood and teenager time.
And after
So
that,
yeah,
your
that was a bit
parents,
in a nutshell. Yeah, and then of course after I started, my parents started like to be impressed, and at the beginning they were very happy I was doing Sahaja Yoga because they thought it was going to be something healthy for me. And then I took it to let's say a commitment that they never really had. So they started to see me a bit like as a fanatical person because they were always a foot in, a foot out, even when they were in. I mean, for a while they were very dynamic, but they still had some Western conditioning lingering on. No, so when I started, they also at the beginning they were very happy. Then we had a bit of sometimes tensions because for instance, they wanted me to find a girlfriend and just be with someone, and I was like, no, but there's a person for me. Mother has a person for me. I'm just gonna wait for her. And they were like, yeah, but in the meantime, why don't you get a girlfriend? No, so there were all of these Western conditionings, and they couldn't understand, and they thought I had become a bit fanatical just because I had imbibed, Sahaj values in me. Like I just had them already in a way, no? And and then actually after a while something clicked in them. I think vibrations also started to flow in the house, and they could see, that we weren't anymore exchanging. I wasn't debating with them. They just could see how much I was growing, and at a certain point they also started to ask me to meditate together, and started to convince them to have foot soak. So it took a couple of years, and then they also started to return to pujas and do things. So now usually it's me telling them, oh, there's a puja this weekend, do you want to come? And then they're like, I don't know, because I also had this plan, or sometimes I try to remind them, did you food talk today? Or usually now when they have any issue, they call me and say, oh, I have this problem, what should I do? It's a bit strange because they're my parents, so we have this relation. So I'm like, yeah, it is, but maybe you should just use the candle. They're like, yeah, true. But when are you coming back? Can you do the candle on me? I'm like, yeah, you do the candle on yourself as well. Cannot be me doing that all the time. So it's very beautiful because you could see that, and so yeah, sometime when you learn how to see also your own parents as children, you learn to see yourself as a child, and you learn to see seekers as children. No, so you become much less judgmental and just much more compassionate in a way, because you could see how, yeah, how everyone needs their time to grow, and you just develop a bit of patience, especially when it's your parents, and it's easy to lose patience with the parents, I think, at least when you grow up in the West. So but it worked out really beautifully, and now they're both established. Still sometimes they're a bit naughty, but yeah, but they're very good people.
yeah. So maybe you can talk about, the seminar that you shared with me, the Yuva Shakti seminar in Geneva.
Yeah, we just recently organized the Yuva Shakti seminar in Switzerland. It was the first Yuva Shakti seminar since COVID, at least in the West, but I think worldwide, for what I know. I mean, there had been a few Yuva Shakti seminars in the same country, but not like a global one. There were Yuvas from 50 countries. And what was really beautiful about it is that there was a bit of a gap that happened because of COVID. So in the previous Yuva Shakti seminar, because there were like one or two every year, there were some people coming very young and then slowly growing into it. Uh, this seminar was a bit different because the people who were organizing were a bit older Yuvas, like me, or young adults, because officially I passed my 30s, and I'm not a Yuva anymore since a few years. But because of COVID, basically, it's like if the people who were Yuvas before COVID, at least in Europe mainly, were not Yuvas anymore, but there wasn't a new Yuva Shakti group yet, because the COVID gap created a bit of a margin, and the new one are really young and have never been exposed to this. So a group of, let's say, older brothers and sisters really started to put together the best of all of these experiences, and workshop, and different techniques or activities that were very successful in previous Yuva Shakti seminar, to help people to recognize Mother, recognize the divinity within themselves, go in depth. And what was really surprising is as opposed to when I had my first Yuva Shakti seminar 10 years ago. Uh, Back then, there were some Yuvas who were really committed. I was one of them because, of course, I was coming from the Maya. I had just discovered this world and I just wanted to meditate all the time. But there were also other people who maybe were born in Sahaj, who were more there for socializing, no? So it took a few years to actually go into depth together as a group and establish everyone. And this year was very different because I think this new generation is something very special, at least as compared to our age, because the people were really committed. There were a group of girls, for instance, they were just 15. And I don't know, it's like if something clicked during this seminar and they didn't have, it's like if they were ready, they were really waiting for this. I think this maybe is a positive side effect of COVID, that people somehow spending so much time by themselves, they didn't get lost as much in some nonsensical time, or sometimes just when you go through difficult times, we have to put our roots a bit further. So there was a very big group of yuvas, like very young, like 14 to 16, 17, who became so dedicated in a few days, really understood that was their thing, and became so dynamic that within a few weeks they started to organize programs in their schools. They're now organizing a couple of Yuva Shakti seminars for this summer. One in Cabela and one is going to happen in UK at the end of August. And yeah, it was really beautiful. They were doing morning meditation very early without skipping. Maybe 10% of the people were skipping morning meditation, but if you consider that we were starting from 14 years old to like 30, 32, it's really good. Everyone was doing the duty of cooking and cleaning, and it was just like a very strong, they were really solid, very solid dharmic beings with a very strong connection. So I'm very positive for the times ahead, because I've seen such a big group of young yuvas who are so deep. And yeah, let's see what will come the next year. So hopefully next time we can have many Malaysian one as well, or maybe we can also have one in Malaysia. Yeah, I've seen there is a new group coming, and there's a lot of I think after COVID there's a lot of desire to spread Sahaj and to meet up in the collectivity.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Looking forward.
Oh, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
the
Looking forward to
microphone will
you.
get muted.
Yeah. Looking forward to you coming to Malaysia. Maybe we can also have a online seminar in the meantime, yeah.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. That would be
Yes.
beautiful.
We had one last year, so looking forward for another one. So maybe, after Shri Mataji's birthday and Sahasrara Puja, maybe we can look into that and coordinate together with all the yuvas. So in the meantime, yeah, you want to say something else?
I mean, the Hajj world is so vast. I don't know, if you want, I'm happy I still have a bit of time. I can share some Sahaj experiences.
Yeah.
If you wish. I don't know if there is something particular that I can share. You can also give me some
Yeah,
some
you can
hints
share
and-
whatever you feel that you want to share, something which will benefit the yogis, some memories that you have.
Okay, well, I have to say, after this moment of recognition of Shri Mataji, maybe just to share something, simple related with what I experienced. uh, I I think I had a double situation, because on one side I was born realized and I had puja with mother as a kid, but at the same time I found it as a seeker. So I had both this aspect um, of somehow coming as a born realized with that understanding and depth which somehow was already there, but also the enthusiasm, the joy of what it means to meet Shri Mataji, to suddenly find your lost family and be one with them and not take it for granted. But of course, when you grow up in the Maya, somehow you just absorb a lot of things, especially if you're a light soul, because if you're a light soul that grew up in Sahaj, somehow you're in a protected environment. But if you grew up in the Mayas, relies on you just absorb everything from everyone, and it's quite heavy, no? So when I started, I had so many miracles, so many situations. I think it was like mother kind of welcoming me back, and and it was really very strong. I had a lot of dreams with Shimataji. I also had a dream with Adiguru, that Treya, that was kind of instructing me and giving me directions. And I was writing down things when I woke up. I had a dream with Shri Krishna as well, and I had a beautiful dream with Shri Hanuman. Um, and uh, and yeah, so somehow I really had to experience the beauty of Shimataji's presence in all of this gesture, no? Like I cannot share like some older uncle and auntie some experiences with having Shimataji's there physically, but definitely I felt her presence very strong when I started again throughout so many little gestures, and it wasn't just miracles or coincidences, but it was the care and love in the details, in the way she was doing things to make it even more special, no? Um, and once I was in a meeting here in Cabela, and there were a few older uncle and aunties, and they were discussing about somehow how for new people who haven't been next to Shimataji, it can be tricky to connect with her, no? And at least in my experience, this is not so true. I remember when I was listening to this, I was thinking, but I mean, people, if they really need to speak with Shimataji, they can even dream of Shimataji and she can share things. And that very same night, I had a dream with her, and she was just giving me, we were just speaking at the phone for like an hour. I was in the terrace of my house, and I was walking up and down the terrace, sharing her all of the challenges I was going through. And as a mother, she was really kind of suggesting me how to go ahead, and and in that vision, she told me something that has been very important for me. And somehow she told me, a bit how many lifetimes I still had to achieve the state, the ultimate, to achieve Shri Sadashiva, which I'm not gonna share here in this call because I think it's quite personal. But together with saying, just believe in yourself. You've done so much. You've done so much, and now you're literally, like, just believe in you. It's behind the corner, but behind the corner in divine times. So in human times, it's not so much behind the corner. But one phrase she said there is, if you don't, if you don't compromise, and and that was really struck me. She was like, okay, this is the years you have ahead of you. Like, this is the lifetimes you need to reach there. Like, you can really like achieve your ultimate moksha if you don't compromise. So it was a way to encourage me, knowing I was going through some difficult times materially, and that my way to go through it was really to bring the tension sasrar, and that actually was a maya for me to grow. But a lot of time we underestimate the importance of believing in our personal growth. So a lot of time, I remember when I started Sahaj, I had so many things to clear out, from all the different six enemies, and it took me a couple of years to really become a real Yoga Shakti. I was born realized with a strong devotion for Shri Mataji, but my subtle system was still all upside down for the years I spent, just living normally in the society. And then once you really kind of clean your subtle system, life becomes very joyful. You have Madi in your heart, you have the collective, you have a lot of material blessings, and you lose a bit this determination for really ascending, like knowing that Shimadaji doesn't want you to just enjoy a material life, but wants you to also spiritually ascend, to the state of a Muni, or to really reach a great level. And I could see my curve of somehow ascent that started very fast, and then as soon as life started to become very sweet and beautiful, I also started to adjust, and I was a bit less determined, like less committed I don't know, leave my comfort zone, leave some of my deepest attachment to really grow, because I could still go through it. And I think these difficult times that are coming now, there was the war in Russia, uh, there was COVID, there is earthquake now, and all of this coming close to the 100th birthday, I think is like a reminder from God that we're not meant just to stop. We're meant to achieve the absolute. We're meant to obtain the full moksha, and that the 100th birthday is an important moment for us also to see where do we stand as yogis, and to be humble that we still have so much more to grow, and with humility start to do these steps which are necessary. So if I could just share something, this phrase from Mother was, if you don't compromise, say, like there is a path for you, but if you compromise, instead of going a straight line, you just start to do this and that, and then it can become very long. So keep growing, but don't compromise. And it was very strong. And in many situations when, I had some attachment or some desire, but then I knew deep inside, okay, but this would be the most subtle thing to do. That sentence helped me and gave me the strength to choose what was most subtle, to choose what was most auspicious, rather than maybe what my material self would have preferred. Uh, so I think as yogis, we don't want to steal to people. Like, all of the biggest problem, the biggest negativities are already fixed. And this is why it's easier to compromise, because at the end, maybe sometimes we just want to eat a bit more. We know it's a bit more than what we need, but it's not like really a big sin. So because it's all of these little things that at the end are not very big, it's a bit harder to detach from them, because it's not such a big thing if we compromise. But it's still little attachments that prevent us to grow. And one thing which is very important is that I've noticed, I participated I lived in South America with the South American collective. I've been to pujas in Africa. I've seen Sahaja yogis from many different countries, and how every culture is different, but through the Sahaj knowledge, through mother love, they all grow, expressing the most beautiful aspects of their culture. But one common thing that I've seen, that is probably one key challenge that every collective faces, is that a lot of time the way that negativity uses, at least just something I noticed, it doesn't want to be pure knowledge, but just something sharing with you, is the way that negativity tricks yogis sometimes, because it cannot trick us through real negativities. It tricks us to making us going in excess of our positive aspect. So a lot of time the problem that yogis face is we go to excess. So something that could be good, but if you bring it to excess, then it becomes negative because it goes out of the central path. And I think that's the trick that I've seen, and that I've seen many yogis kind of falling into. So let's say you're a mother, you love your child a lot, then you become maybe too attached to your child, or you control him too much. And in a way, it's very hard to see it, because there's nothing bad. In a way, it's just love. Like, what's wrong in wanting to protect your child? What's wrong in loving your child? No, but everything which becomes too much becomes wrong. But because there is a pure intention behind it, it's very hard to see it. Or even in myself, when I started, I had such a desire to bring Sahaja Yoga to everyone that I went a lot on the right side, and I couldn't see it because I was doing Shri Mataji's work, but I wasn't nourishing my spirit. I wasn't ascending. Somehow I was a bit out of, sometime maybe I wasn't in the divine flow. Maybe Mother had a different plan for me, but maybe the plan for the weekend was just to go somewhere and meditate happily. But somehow I thought, oh, but I have to be altruist. I have to think of the other people. I have to be selfless. And this person is realization, and that person is realization. So somehow I was using a positive intention I had to prevent me to grow. And I spent a good almost a year of my life that I was so focused on giving realization that probably didn't even do one step, in my personal ascent, because my attention was here and there. And it was very hard for me to see it because it was hidden behind the good intentions. So one thing I noticed for yogis is that a lot of time we have some positive ideals, some positive desires, but with behind that somehow negativity make us go too much on the excess so that we don't see it, and still we don't nourish our central channel and our spirit as we should. So maybe this is something that I'm still a young yogi, so I don't feel like I can teach, to the collective. But this is something I've experienced throughout the world, and maybe something we can all take from my last 10 years of Sahaja Yoga, and to also not only be careful of our negativities, but also be careful of what our strongest values and ideals to ensure that we still also keep them in a balanced form, and we don't become too much, or we don't become fanatic, we don't become ritualistic, but we keep like as children.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I think that's enough.
Very beautiful sharing, Nicola Chandra. Really very deep understanding of Sage Yoga that Shri Mataji has taught us. So it's nice of you to share with all of us your beautiful journey. And yeah, maybe we can have you again another time, and I want to share more after your journey in India, your tour in India. We are one tour. So let's see, we can get more Yuva Shaktis to also come in for the seminar, and all of you can, we all can grow together.
Yeah.
We learn from each other. Every day is a learning day. There's never end to learning Sage Yoga. And we hope to spread Shri Mataji's love to every nook and corner. Yeah. So, so with that, I think we thank all our brothers and sisters who have joined us today or would be watching the recordings. We thank you for to all of you for sharing, for joining us. And we also like to thank Brother Bhaskar and also Brother Ali for helping us the IT, and you yourself sharing the castle, the altar. Beautiful.
Just gonna show the entrance here. They're doing some renovation work. That's why I have this earphone to mute it easily. But yeah, I'm just gonna say hi from this beautiful view from Shri Mataji's garden.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this wonderful sharing as well. It brings back a lot of memories of Kabela.
Our pleasure, and we hope to also host you in Kabela soon. Hopefully we can meet in India in March, in the end of March. Yes. Otherwise, here the first
either in Malaysia or in Kabela or somewhere.
Yeah. And okay, Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you, everyone.
Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you again, Jai Shri Mataji. Brother Neville, nice of you to join again.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. I also, brought back memories of my trip to Kabela.
Yes.
Yes, it was lovely.
It's always lovely to bring back a lot of nice memories of Shri Mataji everywhere.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
And wishing everybody happy and a blessed Mahashivratri Puja.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, hope every one of us will become the spirit. And please, Shri Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you.